Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking Games with Kellie and Andrew. I'm stupid.
And I'm stupider.
Oh, you got me.
That's because I went to Jupiter.
Oh, just like, I don't think Knuckles is from Jupiter. I also feel like that's way too quick a transition.
Isn't the Chaos guy from Sonic Adventure 2 from space?
Shadow?
What's his name? No.
Chaos?
The blue guy.
Chaos?
Is that his name?
Yeah, he's
I
from
said
Sonic
the
Adventure.
Chaos guy.
I know, but I was
feel
like,
that's fairly straightforward.
he's also from Adventure 1.
Oh, well, I
don't know. He's from
those
space.
two games blurred together for me.
Kellie, I feel like we were transitioning so quickly into the first story, I didn't even get to apologize. Because some idiot, some stupid kid started a job, no longer unemployed.
Yippee!
May or may not be why there was an unexpected break following the release of a major game. Sorry.
No worries. I think it helped because it gave me more time to play the game.
Me too.
Right.
We'll get
so
into
you
it.
say.
Let's save it for the end. Everybody knows we're talking about Persona 3, but the audience is gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna get like attacked on Twitter.
If they're mad at you, they can answer to me.
Okay. Kellie's phone
Just send them
number
in my way.
is 330-462-1212-1912.
Yep, that's it.
Was that close?
Not at all.
It's 330, right? Not to dox you. You're not 330?
It's not. No, I'm not from the...
Oh, you're from Upper Ohio.
Right.
That's a way of saying the Cleveland area.
Upper Ohio. Up there by the lake.
It's probably not even Upper Ohio. There's more Northern Ohio when you go further west, right? I don't know geography.
Well, kind of. Yeah, I guess it would be further north as you go west because you kind of get up towards Toledo and up towards Detroit, which is not in Ohio, but it might as well be.
Do you know who's from Detroit?
Knuckles, the hedgehog, the echidna?
Yeah, Knuckles the echidna. So the Knuckles television show, that's going to tell us what Knuckles is up to between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, we've known about for a while, but it's coming to Paramount Plus on the 26th of April. It is a 6-episode, event? I don't like that they call it. It's a mini-series. Chill, guys. It's not an event. We're watching a red echidna run around being Knuckles. But we got a trailer for it finally. I was surprised because we heard about the show, and then all we've heard about since then is Sonic 3, like the movie. So I was like, is this show not coming out before the movie? But nope, they're just like, oh, it's soon, actually. But that's 2 months from now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm... Okay, you know I love Sonic 2, especially the movie. I'm not... This trailer did not excite me particularly.
Yeah.
It looks like very low stakes and a little more childish than the movies, which the movies are pretty childish, but I don't know. The whole thing of Idris Elba's Knuckles being stupid is kind of funny, but if that's the whole plot of the movie or television series, I guess. We'll see. I think I have Paramount Plus. Do I have
I do.
Okay.
My question is, when did Knuckles become stupid?
Was
it Sonic Boom or was it before that?
Sonic Boom really enforced it. Knuckles didn't have
wasn't stupid in the Adventure series, was he?
No, he was just
or Heroes?
He was just a little foolhardy. He was really determined. I think, and in the newer games, he's not stupid. He's just he's almost personality-less. He's just super boring. Right. So I prefer this over that, but I don't know. It's, as somebody who really liked the second movie, I'll watch this, but I think using Wade, the really stupid human character, and combining him with Knuckles, the really stupid Knuckles character, seems like a recipe for something that might annoy me for 6 episodes. Or one before I quit.
It's interesting that it's just called Knuckles.
Versus what?
I don't know. like it's just called Knuckles. I feel like that's a little bit boring to me.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. There's more Sonic news, Sonic live action news. If you're interested, Andrew, are you interested?
Yeah. Can you tell me?
So Jim Carrey was basically like, I'm not going to be in these movies anymore. Not trying to spoil the second movie, but you know, there was an expectation that maybe he wouldn't be in the third movie. But this is not true. He will be back, at least for the he'll be back for Sonic 3 and what looks to be the Knuckles series, just called Knuckles, by the way. Yeah. Jim Carrey is still going to be Dr. Robotnik.
I thought
Dr.
he was
Eggman.
retiring. Like, I thought he was retiring from everything.
Does he do anything else anymore?
No. And I swear he said something after Sonic 2 where he was like, I'm done. That's it. That's my
Maybe the paychecks were just really, really nice.
They probably are, because those movies made so much. So I'm glad he's back. I think he's, again, a little childish. The first movie especially, his character's like a little annoying because it's just physical comedy, which, that's Jim Carrey's thing, of course. But like the second movie, combining that with Tails and Knuckles kind of worked a little better. We'll see. I mean, Shadow's obviously still going to be the main villain, I think. I'm just surprised they haven't announced Shadow's voice actor yet. But maybe
me.
him. Well, yeah, but shh.
I didn't sign an NDA.
I did.
Oh. Well, then you don't have to say anything.
A Knuckles disclosure agreement.
A KDA?
No, Knuckles with an N.
Oh, okay. Not a word.
Kelly, do you want to get the one bit of overtly bad news out of the way now?
Yeah,
So I was noting that we don't have technically any new layoffs to report on this week, which I think is the first this year. Cool. However, we have some pretty harrowing news coming out of the 1900 layoffs at Xbox and Activision from the last episode that we talked about. And that is that Studio Toys for Bob, who you probably know for the Spyro remake, the Crash 4, as well as the creation of the entire Skylander series, that studio is shutting down. I think it's really upsetting because, as we talked about the fact that this acquisition by Microsoft was supposed to be beneficial, and they were talking about how it wouldn't affect the flow of games or what was coming, in the future. It's clear to me now that was such a lie, that they're shutting down one, like buying a studio and then immediately shutting it down. That's what they did. I just think that's unacceptable.
Yeah. It just feels like this acquisition has caused a lot of problems. And continues to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah. And I feel those poor employees.
Yeah. It's been a really, really rough beginning of the year. I saw a pie chart. Not a pie chart. It was like a pictograph of some sort that was like all the dots were like the layoffs, the video game industry layoffs throughout the years. And you can just see it gets super, super dark in late 2023, early 2024.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like compared to all of the years before it. It's just like
this is
very disheartening.
As far as like Western developers, this is one of the worst years in video games ever. Like the past 6 months has been some of the worst time in video game development ever.
Yeah.
And
it's sad because we've talked about this, but it's like we talk about these games making all this money and last year was such a good year for gaming, blah blah blah. And it's like, but the people who are making the games, the people who are creating this content that we all consume, they're the ones who are suffering the most. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I'm hopeful for the future. And like, as a gamer, I implore you to to be empathetic for all these people. The other thing is like it's not going to affect our flow of video games because, well, I should say it's not going to affect our flow of video games, as in talking games with Kellie and Andrew's flow, because you and I both play a lot of Japanese video games, and that has been largely undisturbed. I mean, look at this year. It's all Japan, you know?
Right.
It's so, I think, and layoffs are not happening in Japan. So video games themselves, there will always be good stuff coming down the pipe. But the fact that Western video games are in such shambles right now, it's upsetting. But hey, maybe some good news will come in the near future.
Yes. There was some good news out of all of this layoff darkness, so to speak. The Clockwork Revolution team in exile?
I assume that's how it's pronounced.
They have taken the ex-Volition employees under their wing. So now these people who were laid off, all these Volition employees who were laid off, are now working at In Exile, the Clockwork Revolution game team. So this is good news.
This is really good news. I've also, like, this is new, right? Like, I've never heard of something like this, like scooping up like basically a whole team after they lose their studio.
Yeah, and it's funny because I had mentioned this like 2 weeks ago, maybe, when we were talking about it. But it's like there's so many people in the industry now who just like can't get hired because it's all layoffs.
Yeah.
And they have a very specific skill set. So this was very heartwarming to see and encouraging to see that maybe something like this could happen again.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like it gives a little bit of merit to the video game itself too, because like I remember Clockwork Revolution, you know, that BioShock Infinite looking game from the Xbox showcase, but like knowing that this is what that studio behind it is really like, it just makes me happy, and I'm much more interested in their game now, and play it day one on Game Pass. Not that that's a good thing because we don't like Microsoft right now.
Right. So get rid of your Game Pass.
Yeah, but don't do that because it would cost more to buy Persona 3 Reload that way.
Oh, right.
But there's also, yeah, that's the other thing. Real quick. Yes, vote with your wallet, but also like if you're on a budget and you like gaming, Game Pass is a great option. So don't feel guilty doing that, okay? Look out for number one, and that's you. Not you, Kelly. Individuals.
I look out for number two.
Cookie?
Just to keep my digestive system regular.
I'm going to ignore that and move on. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. I really don't want to talk about poop. Let's instead talk about some poop. Microsoft reportedly, take this with a grain of salt, but reportedly is now preparing to launch Starfield on PlayStation 5. This is among other potential games. We heard a little bit about Hi-Fi Rush not that long ago, and also a huge one, Indiana Jones. This report was not part of Xbox's public plan. Phil Spencer followed up with a pretty major update. Well, I guess his update wasn't major, but he promised a major update. He tweeted, "We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week," that is this week if you're listening right now, "where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." We heard today that update is going to take the form of a podcast. Copy us much, Phil. On Wednesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Philentine's Day for some of us who will be listening to that entire podcast.
Nope.
I will not. Okay. First of all, a podcast is a weird format for a major business update, right?
Yes. Very weird. Very odd. Very self-congratulatory. Very big-headed.
Unhinged.
That people who have podcasts
that's us.
tend to have really big egos because they think that everybody wants to hear their thoughts on stuff.
Oh.
So.
Uh-oh.
Well.
Do you want to hear my thoughts?
Nope. Just kidding. Tell me your thoughts.
I think Xbox is leaving. I think Xbox is slowly departing the console manufacturing business, because that leak of the new Xbox coming out, I think this year, is digital only. They had distributors literally throwing away copies of Starfield instead of selling them. I just feel like moving to multi-platform, pulling a Sega, and maybe figuring out some kind of way to put Game Pass on other platforms. It seems like that might be their long-term goal. But they can't say that. There's no way they're going to say that this Wednesday, because then Xbox would die instantly, right? As a console.
What other platforms? Like PlayStation?
Well, I think about, like, you can get EA Play on PlayStation. So
right.
My thing is, I feel like the reason PlayStation probably prevents Game Pass from being on there is because it is the competitor. But if it's no longer the competitor, I wonder how that would work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Game Pass is already on PC, so it's like, what more? Where else could they go to make more money other than PlayStation? You know.
And I don't know what shape this will take, but it seems pretty clear that they're exploring options. And like, Hi-Fi Rush coming to all platforms is one thing, but like Starfield, and if it's Indiana Jones and Starfield, that's huge, you know?
I think maybe they realized that, well, I don't want to presume, and maybe they'll talk about it in their little podcast, but to me, it feels like Starfield was so restricted that maybe a lot of the hype with the game died because of that. And, you know, at this point, they've realized that this game is not the next big Bethesda hard hitter. It's not the next Skyrim.
Oh, it's not
the next Fallout. It's just Fartfield. I wonder if maybe they're like, we gotta spread the love a little bit. Otherwise, this is a sunk cost. Because that game, and I'm not just talking money, the amount of time that went into developing that game. And while I don't think that's all for naught, because I don't think that's fair to everyone who worked on that game, I think it's hard when you work on a game for years and years and years, and then it releases, and it keeps getting compared to older, more successful releases, and maybe it was stifled because of the way it released. Not that I'm saying the game is like the best ever, but I think a lot of the normal audience could have been pulled in if it had also released on PlayStation. Just my thoughts. And also PlayStation at this point does, in my opinion, need a little bit more to have as an offering, which is why something like Game Pass on PlayStation would be a pretty big deal. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what they say in their podcast.
And here's what I'll say as a last note on Starfield, because I saw a note on this, I think earlier today or maybe yesterday. Starfield's player count has dropped by 96% since launch, which, like, player counts always drop a lot, but 96 is a lot. Its all-time peak was 330,000 on Steam. Playing seconds ago was 7,000 people. And you might say, oh, well, that's still kind of a high number. I'm going to give you a reference point. On Steam, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim has 23,000. 3 times as many.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like there's a slight chance that they lost, because there was so much value being put on Starfield. You know, they were like, this is the most important RPG ever. Like, all that stuff. And I almost feel like it's now just being viewed as a product and not this important video game, because it is doing so poorly. They're like, just put it out on other things. Maybe it'll make more money.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
So we'll follow up with that next week, though.
Yes. Some other interesting news. Interesting Elden Ring news, everybody. What?
Don't frame it like that, Kelly. That was so mean of you, and our audience will never forgive you.
You guys, it's almost the 2-year anniversary of Elden Ring. So aren't you excited to hear that Tencent is working on a mobile version of Elden Ring? Isn't that what you wanted to hear about the game? On its almost 2-year anniversary? Aren't we excited, you guys? Mobile Elden Ring. You can play it on your phone. You can play that video game on your phone, maybe. If Tencent is working on it, which they are.
I thought it was like The Onion. I was like, this, what? What does that mean? It just means what it is. It's just Tencent's making a mobile version of Elden Ring?
Right.
I don't understand, because like there's no way that From was like, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want to it, like put in microtransactions. So is it really going to be that profitable? Maybe it will. I don't know.
Well,
that sounds terrible to me, though. I can't fathom playing that game on touchscreen.
Well, Tencent does have a stake in FromSoft.
What is it, like
16%.
15? Okay.
So that's interesting. But Tencent has like a stake in everything because they're huge.
And I don't have doubts about the technical quality, because Tencent does pull like miracles off on smartphones. But this doesn't make sense. This one's weird, right? Right? It's weird, right?
Right. I'm going to be checking my daily pulls at the Erdtree.
Oh my god, what if they do like... Oh my god, what if it's full on like Genshin level?
Right.
It's going to be Genshin.
Well, they
Ring.
are trying to compete with Genshin Impact, though I don't know if you could do that with Elden Ring.
Well, they are Genshin Impact, aren't they? Oh no, MiHoYo is separate. I'm a fool.
That's okay. I won't hold it against you, but if you make another mistake, I will kill you.
You can also just straight up ignore the stuff I said about them being incredible. I was completely merging Tencent and MiHoYo in my brain.
Well, Tencent is huge. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of stake in a lot of different companies.
Yeah. They love their red meat. Steak.
Right. So I hope you guys are all really excited about this news. I know I really am.
What if
Speaking of steak... That was good, right? I really set it up for you.
I was going to say that.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say that, Kelly.
Well, no, go say it. Go pretend I didn't say it and then say it again.
I'll just cut it out. Nobody will ever know.
Right.
Speaking
of steak,
I'm going to come home to your house and break your PC. I'm going to snap your little headphones right in the middle so they still work, but you can't wear them anymore. Or you got to like...
I'll just tape them together.
I was going to say tape them around your face like this way.
That's fine.
You know? Yeah, like that. Oh, Kelly looks so cool with her sci-fi headphones. She just put the... Why would you make that sound?
Because I'm a cyborg.
Oh, she just put like the bar. What's that called? The connecty part of the headphones. The bar.
I don't know.
Well, she put it over her...
Headband part?
Yeah, she put the headband over her eyes so she'd look like a cyborg. Disney has bought a $1.5 billion stake in Epic Games. And following this news, they promised a major development to integrate Disney brands into Fortnite. I know I love my brands. The announcement of this ended with the word shop. So it's pretty clear what the intent is here. I don't think that there's pure intention necessarily. Also, the trailer was not made up of footage from like this new game or whatever it's going to be. It was made up of like Fortnite crossovers and movie footage. But hey, soon you'll be able to play, watch, create, shop.
Shop, consume, buy.
I mean, you're doing a bit, but also like this feels so consumerist. Like
it's actually crazy. It's like,
oh my god.
And the commercial itself was so like, this would have been maybe so cool in like 2014. It was like when Fortnite didn't exist. It was like Marvel, Star Wars, Fortnite, Disney. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but that already exists.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh wait, nobody's really into this stuff anymore. I mean, not saying nobody's into Disney, but when was the last good Disney movie you saw?
I think
Frozen 2?
That's what I'm saying. I think Disney still makes money, but like this exciting announcement is like already happening. Like, go to the Fortnite store and there's almost always a Disney skin of some sort in there.
Right, but there's no Elsa.
Well, yeah, maybe
she's not Smelsa.
Maybe they paid $1.5 billion just to put Elsa in Fortnite.
They probably did. Frozen is such an expensive... I mean, it's such a profitable property. I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, I don't know what this will look like, but like... Because the only thing that comes to my mind is like adding a virtual theme park. Like, oh, you go to Disney World, but in Fortnite. And I'm like, that sounds awful. That sounds stupid.
Disney World! Disney World! Disney World! Ooh, 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 ooh.
Can you move on?
Hey, there was a state of play.
I forgot.
I forgot. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know there was a state of play?
Yeah. Also, I apologize for the guest star. I worked a long day, and he's not used to my new days, so there might be.
That's okay. I think there's a guest star outside my door too, actually, right now.
My guest star screams though.
Oh, yeah, I just heard him. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's got a lot of thoughts on the state of play.
He does. He hated it. He's contrarian.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what we saw. We saw a teaser story trailer, so to speak, about the game Judas, which is from Ken Levine, who made BioShock, along with a bunch of other people who also made BioShock.
Nope.
I mean, he
was just Ken Levine.
Yeah.
Solo.
What's funny about Ken Levine is that he was like, I'm done making BioShock games. Except
this one.
Not really. So this is from Ghost Story Games, which is his new project. I hesitate to say studio, but anyway, this is a first-person shooter in a sort of dystopia-esque place. There's like there's gun shooting, and then there's this weird thing where you use your other hand for like other powers, which actually is a completely new concept, not at all like BioShock, except it is. That's the joke. We did not get a release date or a window from this trailer. We were just given a task, which was to fix what we broke. That's not my job.
Do you mean wish list? Is that our task?
No.
Oh.
It said fix what you broke. And then it said wish list now. And then it said in development for PS5. So, you know.
We saw this game a year ago, and I was excited. This trailer was like the same one. I know it was entirely new content, but it was another cinematic trailer with first-person stuff that was pretending it was gameplay. I'm confused. As somebody who's like interested to play this game, what the point of this trailer was.
Yeah. I think here's my thought process. I would love a new BioShock-esque game. I don't want one from Ken Levine. Does that make sense?
I'm sure it probably will be good. I just don't think it'll be anytime soon. And also, like, why are we seeing this is what my thought is. And also, there probably is a new BioShock in the works. Like, it just seems like that's what's happening. So,
but BioShock isn't a thing anymore, right?
I mean, they could make another one,
but it wouldn't be this. I mean,
I don't. Yeah, the brand.
And it would be like 10 years after the last BioShock game.
Oh my god, I can't.
Where would it be?
Space.
No, System Shock was in space.
So is Judas.
Oh my god.
They'll beat him to the punch.
It should be in a cave system.
Shock?
Cave shock.
Cave system shock.
Rock shock.
Bio rock.
It should be in a deciduous forest.
What would you call it then?
Um
This is why it's clear we're
dirt
not standing.
shock.
It's very clear we're not stand-up comedians because we should have come up with something way better and way faster than Dirt Shock after 30 seconds of silence.
You don't like that name?
It's
a working title. It's like how they call the Avengers movie, like, funny movie.
I would have called it like
production.
Borealis Shock.
Okay. That's all right. It's better than Dirt Shock.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
It's bad. I'll say that. It's bad, but not to be mean to you, Kelly.
Oh.
It's better than Dirt
Don't
Shock.
be mean to me. I'll die.
It's better than Dirt Shock.
All right.
Kelly just died.
Did they anything else happen at the State of Play?
What, are you trying to move on from the Dirt Shock?
I really would like to move on now.
Kelly, I don't think that you should play Silent Hill: The Short Message to make yourself feel better. Silent Hill: The Short Message was announced and released for PlayStation 5 for free. It is a new 2-hour experience, and it's about self-unwelling.
Oh.
What else would you call it? I don't know. Are we allowed to say it's not YouTube? It's about suicide. And it's very nuanced.
Is it
What? It's not swag to kill yourself.
Is it scary?
No.
Oh.
Well, so okay, I played it, so I can review. I guess I could review it. I'll do a quick review. How about that, Kelly?
No.
Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. So
Keep it to
shut
yourself.
up. Shut up. I don't get the point of this game. It was 2 hours. It wasn't terrible and it wasn't good. It was just sort of a nothing product. The characters were like nothing characters. It was about suicide, but it was not nuanced, so it was just kind of about nothing. And a character had killed themselves. And the scary parts are not scary. They're just kind of happening at you. The only time I got scared is when I turned around, something was behind me, and I went, "Ugh!" Yeah, and then I was fine.
I sound like Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know which. I thought you were talking about SpongeBob Jones.
So why is it just, my thing is like, I feel like every scary like indie horror game since PT is doing that thing where it's like you turn around and there's a tall lady and she's twitching and she's coming at you.
Well, that's the other thing about this. It feels like pretty disrespectful to put this. Like PT's 10 years old, and this is that's what scared you, isn't it? This game has, I think, the same baby sound effect at one point.
I can do that sound effect really good if you're curious.
Go ahead. Sure. Do a baby sound effect.
No,
what's your
that's
baby
okay.
laugh sound like?
I don't want to do it. No.
Laugh like a baby, Kelly.
No, I don't think I want to
like
do
a
it
baby.
now. I don't want to do it now.
Okay, do it when I'm not ready.
Okay.
Like, do it instead of laughing.
Can I cry like a baby?
I guess, but I was talking about a laugh. But you could cry if you want.
Oh.
Just do it when I'm not expecting it. Whatever you want.
Okay, right.
There's also a baby in a fridge in this game, which is something
That's
that
not
like
where they go.
that's not where they go.
They
And
don't
also
go
like that's like, oh, like come on, baby in fridge. Like PT did baby in fridge. You can only do one baby in fridge.
Was it baby in fridge?
Yeah, baby was.
PT?
Remember when baby was swinging
Baby
in
in
fridge,
fridge,
and the
baby
fridge go,
in sink?
"Wah!" It was going.
Is there anywhere this baby won't go?
Baby go in fridge.
Baby don't go in crib.
Baby don't go on crib empty, fridge full.
The baby was like,
Nice. That's great.
thank you.
You sounded just like something that belongs in the fridge. I'll give one bit of credit. The monster design is fine. Like the monster itself is fine. But they did do something that I'm a sucker for, and that is a frame rate that is incorrect. So like the way the monster moves, it's like jittery because it's like, I think it's animating like every fourth frame or something. So it's really trippy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not worth playing. It's not worth your time.
Oh.
don't spend. It's free, but
Oh.
I wouldn't recommend wasting 2 hours of your time because it's a nothing sandwich. But we played a new Silent Hill. There was a new Silent Hill game. That's really weird. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, but guess what? It's gonna happen again this year. Because
Well.
Silent 2.
Silent 2.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Just kidding. Silent Hill 2 got a combat reveal trailer.
Wait, what if we did, when this game comes out, can we release the episode and it's just an hour of silence?
Yeah, I think that would be good for us, for the brand.
I'm sorry I cut you off and then
It's okay.
cracked myself up for something that wasn't funny.
We must do everything in the name of the bit.
Cut me off and just continue the story and pretend
That!
it didn't
Stop.
happen. Okay.
Silence!
Hill.
Just kidding. Silent Hill.
Okay, I think we're gonna get canned.
Sorry,
I think
sorry.
we're getting fired after this.
Okay, sorry. So there was a combat reveal trailer at this state of play for the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is being made by Bluebird Team, as we know.
I love combat in my Silent Hill games.
It was interesting.
Just be
I don't
brutal.
really associate Silent Hill with like intense combat.
Mhm.
So I don't really know why they were like, let's dedicate a whole trailer to combat, because it didn't look bad, but it also was kind of like, why? Like, why are we doing this? I don't really get it.
It was foolish.
It was kind of cool to see the nurses. I thought they looked pretty good. The enemies looked good. They looked like the Silent Hill 2 enemies. So that was nice to see. Maybe they wanted to showcase the enemies a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not like super hopeful for this remake. I don't think it's going to be like the best thing ever. I don't necessarily think it's going to be bad. But I don't think it's going to be like great.
I lost a lot of faith, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure why they were like, this is really going to knock their socks off, which is simply not the case. I don't know.
It looks like it's trying to be Resident Evil, like with the combat. Stop, guys, stop.
I mean, I think it's weird. There is combat in Silent Hill 2, you know? It's not a game that's devoid of combat, but it's not this, like, rich, in-depth system that this trailer's trying to present it as. I know when you remake a game, you maybe want to reimagine some elements of it, but you're right. It's very much, like, trying to be, like, this could be Leon in, like, 30 years, you know what I mean?
It's
As
just
an old man.
It was not necessary. It's the second time we've seen this game ever. Why is combat the second thing we're seeing?
Yeah, I would love to see more of like the story, like how they're imagining like Maria, and like maybe we see a little bit of Pyramid Head, maybe we see a little bit of Pyramid Head. You know what I'm saying?
I am so he was in the first trailer. Why did they do like a back reveal in this trailer? He was in the first trailer. We saw him. Why is the end of this trailer them being like, oh, it's Pyramid Head? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I saw him.
Because I guess the implication is that we're going to be fighting against Pyramid Head, which is not something that really happens in 2 from my memory. So I don't know.
You know what it means? You know what it's like to me, Kelly?
What?
It's like if you showed up at a party. You, Kelly Knock, you show up at a party. You say, hey, and everybody's like, oh, it's Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody had a good time, you're talking, and then you like leave to go like smoke a cigarette, as you love doing.
Okay, you're losing. Okay, yep.
And then you come back inside, and you like look at everybody like, I'm back, and you expect, and you're ready for everybody to cheer, and everybody's like, yeah, we knew you were here. Like,
okay. I don't agree with this analogy because I do expect people to be excited to see me again when I walk into a room after not being in the room for a few minutes.
you know, I probably would with you, so it's not fair. But like, what if you were somebody less exciting? Woo! Woo! And also, you're not facing anybody. You're just looking the other way. It's just your back.
What if I was Pyramid Head?
I mean, if you were Pyramid Head, I probably wouldn't invite you to my parties.
Whoa. What the heck? Are you serious?
Kelly,
He brings the life of the party. He is not only dedicated to his workout routine, which is why he's so ripped, but he's also very good at carrying around the
dead women.
Well, I actually don't want to spoil Silent Hill 2, even though the game's been out for like 20 years. So.
Dead ladies.
No, that's not what he does. You don't understand. Don't speak on what you don't know.
All right, I'm going to talk about something I don't know about then.
Okay.
Rise of the Ronin, one of the advertised headliners for this show, got a new 4-minute trailer.
Woo!
Given a big old gameplay overview showing off its 1850s timeline, this weird Japanese Western blend, pre-war stuff. Very interesting. You know, we've talked a lot about this game as like is it kind of like Assassin's Creed? Oh, is it kind of like a FromSoft game? This trailer really showed me it appears to just be its own thing. Like, it takes, obviously, some influence, but, like, it does look a lot more unique to me than I think I previously would have given it credit for. And that's saying I was still very excited for it because I like Team Ninja a lot, and it seemed like a great concept. But this trailer did give me a lot of hope that it'll be something more unique than expected. Still elements from a lot of things we know, but I personally am more excited now than I was before.
Yes, I think it will stand as its own individual thing for sure. I think it will scratch that Assassin's Creed itch just based on what we've seen from this trailer. But the one thing I want to say is that I love the time period. I love the late 19th century. I think that's very interesting. I think it's a very untapped setting for especially a lot of like Eastern stories, so to speak. Usually when we're like consuming content that takes place in like the late 19th century, it's all like, you know, European stuff. So I think that's really cool, and I think it'll be cool to see how they incorporate the time period and the setting into the story. And yeah, I think this will end up being a really cool game, and I actually would like to play it. It does look a little bit mashy for me, but that's okay. I can mash. I can mash potatoes, and I can mash buttons.
I would say to maybe maybe it's been a long day, Kelly. I'd say maybe pivot your expectations a little on the mashing. I think that Team Ninja's games generally look like you're just mashing, but you are doing a little more in the way of like planning and parrying and all that. So
yes,
I'd say give it a chance and see what it's going to be like.
Well, I've played Final Fantasy 14 online, so I know how to button mash. Okay.
Yeah, it won't be like that. I can promise you that much.
I've also played another game where you do button mash a little bit in Until Dawn, which, surprise, we're not done hearing about this game. It's never ending. They're remastering it. They are going to remaster Until Dawn. They announced this at the State of Play. They're remastering it for the PlayStation 5 and the PC. And the PC and PC.
Just Kelly's.
And the PC, which is mine. And it will be coming out this year in 2024, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure this was 100% necessary.
Yeah.
The game does still look quite good if you play the PS4 version on your PS5. But I did see some like comparison shots between them, and it does look pretty good.
I feel like if it's $10 to upgrade, that would be sick, but I have a feeling this will be a new $70 product.
That would be kind of crazy.
That's what I'm expecting, though.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope
I don't think you will be. I hope you are, but I don't think you will be. But I am excited. I really enjoy Until Dawn. I will say, would I pay $70 for it again? No. I know the story. I know what happens. I've played through it like 5 times because I want to get all the different endings. I want to get the ending where all the women stay alive. I want to get the ending where all the men stay alive, which is actually impossible. Because, well, no, just kidding. I didn't mean that.
Oh no, you have to be careful about Until Dawn spoilers again because it's coming out again.
I know. The one thing, and we were kind of joking about it with a friend of the show, Cameron. But
Who?
there's a evil villain in the game, and he wears a mask. And in the original, it's kind of dark and scary because you can't see his eyes. But in the new one, he's looking kind of fresh and kind of fly. You can see some big, beautiful, glassy eyes behind the mask. Not really sure why they went in that direction, but it's kind of fun. I think this is to build hype for the movie, which is coming out in maybe like 6 years. I don't know.
I was gonna say next decade. Oh my
I
God.
think it would be cool if they added extra stuff, maybe some more behind the scenes stuff. If you actually have the disc copy from the PS4 version, there's all sorts of behind the scenes stuff that they provide. It might be in all the versions. I don't really know. I would like to see a little bit more behind the scenes stuff, maybe like a retrospective, not just from like the actors who play the characters, but from the developers too. I feel like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff back then was focused on like, oh my gosh, you guys look, it's Hayden Panettiere, however you say it. Sorry, Hayden.
Panettiere. That's funny.
Panettiere. But like maybe more of like, oh, here's how we wrote this moment, and here's how we tried to create branching paths in this moment, because, you know, the game does have a lot of branches. The butterfly effect, if you will.
I am mad that this game's going to cost $70 probably. It's probably, okay, even if it's not $70, it's probably going to be $50. This game should be $10.
Do you remember how much the Corey was? Was it a full 70?
Yeah.
I feel like I paid 60 for it.
It was 70, but I believe it. I mean, it was on sale like immediately, so you probably just got it. Did you get it on release day?
Yes.
Well, you check that while I talk about the next story. The two games that we were promised headliners for. Headlines? The two headliners for the PlayStation State of Play were Rise of the Ronin, which I already talked about, and Stellar Blade. Go ahead, Kelly. How much did it cost on launch?
It was $60 on launch.
Okay. Sorry, Kelly.
It's okay. Just like never doubt me again.
I will literally never doubt you ever again.
Thanks.
Unless you told me that Stellar Blade wasn't coming out April 26th. Stellar Blade got a meaty 6-minute trailer. I don't know exactly what I expected from this game, but I didn't expect Nier Automata, which seems to be the biggest inspiration. The general semi-open world nature, combining open world and linear segments into one combat-fueled mess that is, as they say, inspired by Nier Automata, Sekiro, Bayonetta. Have you heard of her?
Nope.
Oh, well, this game looks sick. Another one, Rise of the Ronin was the same way, but like I was really excited for this game, but seeing like actually what the game itself would entail, I am way more interested. I do still think it's silly that the men look like guys and the women look like anime.
I've actually started to care less.
I mean,
but you know what I want? I want them to objectify these men in ways that break the sound barrier, that change the way we perceive video games for life. I think that the male characters, it's so weird because like I like the way the characters look, but it's like it's
a weird conflict.
It's really blatant. Like the female characters are all so beautiful and so cute and so fake. And then the male characters, like, you could probably see that guy on, like, I don't know.
Duncan.
Like a Gap. Like
Gap?
He could probably be like a Gap model.
Yeah, they do look like generic, too.
So I want these men to be objectified just to, like, even the playing field a little bit. I'm not even being a misandrist right now, okay?
What does that mean?
A misandrist, that's someone who hates men.
That's made up. That's straight up made up.
Well, it's actually not a real problem.
It might be real, but it's not a problem. Yeah, that's for sure. Oh my god.
There's also like some of the character design in this game is so cool. Like some of the merchants and stuff. And then it's like the the women that they're talking to, it's like, why aren't the women allowed to look cool? Why do they all have to be like booby and butt and I don't know.
I think everybody looks cool. It's just like make up their mind situation. Like if everybody was hot, like straight up, everybody was sexy beasts.
I would play this game in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but just the women are sexy beasts, and then the men are like gruff.
It's
humans.
Fine. It's fine. You know what? This is not a real problem that I'm having. Okay.
No. I'm still gonna play it because the gameplay looks profoundly good.
Yes.
Like I'm really excited for this game. Genuinely.
Yes, it looks good. It looks good. I agree.
And
I liked this trailer. I thought it was nice. Well,
yeah.
It was more than a trailer. I thought it was nice to be able to see a little bit more in depth. It gave the game more personality beyond just like booby girl. Well,
it almost feels like this game shouldn't have been revealed until this trailer, because like this trailer really like turned it from like a hypothetical into a really impressive and cool looking game.
Yeah.
So, and it's out really soon. Like I think we both kind of guessed early-ish this year because it got delayed out of last year. But April 26th, that's really not that far away. It's 2 months from now. Ugh, April's in 2 months. Ugh.
Yep.
So, and that was totally the end of the show, right?
No, it wasn't. Because our good friend Hideo Kojima had many things to say. One of which being a new tactical espionage game called Fizzint. 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 Physint. Siphint.
Siphint? Where did you get siphint?
Physint. Here's how it's spelled, you guys. Physint. And it's being made with Columbia Pictures. The studio, and it's going to be also a little bit live action. And it's not starting development until 2025, by the way. If you got excited, why don't you just cool your jets, okay? Why don't you just relax, okay?
Who is like, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's announce Fizzint, a game that will not actually start active development until the release of Death Stranding 2 is out and done. And also, OD, somebody needs to go to Kojima and be like, no.
They need to just be like, stop talking about stuff before it starts production. Before it starts development.
Before it probably starts pre-development.
Let's just not talk about it until we get done with the one thing. And then when we're done with one thing, we can start talking about the next thing.
And I think it's okay to announce things before, like, you know what? No, I take it back. We shouldn't have known about OD until Death Stranding was out. And then we shouldn't have known about Fizzint until OD is out.
I agree. I feel like, and I'm going to speak very honestly right now,
and
I'm not trying to be a hater. I think Kojima is really a great developer. He's a great storyteller. He's got a very interesting mind. I really enjoy seeing his film takes on my Twitter feed. I think we're at a point where he's one of the last remaining big developer minds that people still respect. And I think that we're just feeding into the hype machine a little bit too much. And I think it's interesting because Death Stranding was not really, I'm not saying it wasn't well received, but it for a lot of people, it didn't live up to the hype, which I don't know what hype they were building because it was like a brand new game. It was not, but it was a Kojima game. So people had certain expectations for it. So I do find it really interesting that there's all these hype building up around his other projects. He's getting like a Disney Plus documentary at the end of this month.
Oh, yeah,
it's like, I think that he has become, it's getting too much. I feel like the balloon is going to pop. I feel like we're giving him a lot of, we're giving him a lot of stars right now on the star board. And maybe it's getting like the star stickers are starting to run over the sides. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I think we need to cool our jets a little bit.
Do you remember that in PT in the terrifying opening room when there's like just hundreds of tallies all over the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, but it's just stars. It's just
Yeah.
Kojima's gold stars in this scary little room.
Yeah. That's, yes.
We found out about OD less than 2 months ago.
Yes, and it was this big hype thing because Jordan Peele was there, and it was like, look at these famous actors. They're going to be in it too. It's like, I think that I would really like to see Kojima pivot to film and digital, like, media. You know what I mean? Like, not video games.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see him craft a narrative that is not controlled by the player.
Well, because intrinsically, video games are going to take him so much longer for that reason. Like, think about filmmakers. You find out about their new games kind of early, or new movies kind of early. Sorry.
No,
but, like,
it's okay.
It's because it only takes a couple years to make one. Like,
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese can pump out a movie every 2-3 years.
Right.
Can you imagine if a video game studio made a game every 2 years? What,
Yes.
like, well, yeah, it's called Like a Dragon, and it's absurd. But, like, it's just...
I know what you're saying, though. I understand.
Like, that's not sustainable. It's not possible for most games, especially ones with such ambition like his. Like, Scorsese movies are ambitious, right?
Right.
I haven't seen them, but, like, they're ambitious, right? But, like, they still come out every couple of years because it's a medium that can be produced moderately quickly, whereas video games just take a billion years, and especially because people like Kojima keep getting more and more ambitious. And I think the thing about it is the concept of a new tactical espionage game that's going to integrate live action stuff, cool. That sounds awesome. I don't care right now.
Right. There's nothing there's nothing to see. You can't even show me proof of concept.
No,
Tactical espionage game.
And then they took a drone and they swung out and they were like Columbia Pictures, and I was like, so I don't care where you shot this. You could literally shoot this in, like, Kelly's grandfather's backyard, and I'd be like, cool, just as impressive.
You could do that. I don't think you should because it might scare him.
Kojima just shows up and is just standing on your grandfather's backyard.
But you could.
You could. Maybe you should. Maybe we should talk about this.
Please don't. Leave my grandfather alone.
Kojima, please get away from my grandpa. Well, that wasn't all we heard from Kojima. That was actually the show closer, which, like, oof, as the kids say, because that's not a video game. I mean, it is, but no, it's not. But the last actual trailer was that for Death Stranding 2. I didn't really expect this, but it was... I keep saying meaty trailers, but, like, this trailer was, like, holy mother of goodness long. It was 10 minutes in a 40-minute show. It was 10 minutes long. It showed a bunch of Troy Baker, who is alive somehow, even though I think he died. Not the guy, the character. And then he takes off his mask, and he has Joker makeup on. And then
I have an argument.
Against?
I don't think it's Joker makeup. I think it's the makeup from The Crow. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh no, but I'm
with
familiar.
Jason Lee.
Yeah, it's probably that. But
I get it. It does look a little bit like Joker makeup.
But what happens is that, and I feel like the best way to talk about this is me summarizing the trailer very well. Right?
Why are they gray?
So anyway, oh yeah, so because they're inside the baby. So when you're in like a little ship that goes inside the baby's mouth,
and the baby goes,
yeah, well,
okay,
yeah, but the baby goes, he goes,
yeah,
that was the thumb.
Goes,
right. You think I could hear that? You moved away from the mic to make a sound.
Noise. I didn't make the noise
Here,
because I didn't put my thumb in my mouth.
Hang on, he makes this sound,
and then he goes,
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, Kelly.
Okay, sorry.
I know you can make cry sounds, but there's no baby crying in this.
Right. Heard. Understood.
Anyway, Troy Baker. He mask off. He says, "Oh, I'm Troy Baker. Joker makeup."
He doesn't say that.
And then all of his robot buddies, they get killed by another bigger robot buddy, but not his buddy, Sam, who's played by Norman Reedus, his buddy. And that buddy is the baby.
Whoa!
The baby sounds come out of him.
And you know what the baby's name is? Mingus.
Why'd you have to do that, Kelly? Why you
Because
gotta be like that?
Norman Reedus' son in real life is named Mingus.
That's incredible.
Mingus Reedus.
I hope Mingus is in this game.
I do too.
The baby's named Lou, just so you know.
That's what you think.
Yeah, Mingus could make a cameo. Oh, and then Troy Baker fights Mingus with his guitar.
Yes.
That's a gun, an electric gun. So he's like, and then
Yes.
electric goes.
Yes.
And that is only about 45 seconds of the 10-minute trailer.
Yes.
So it's called Death Stranding 2 on the beach, and it's out in 2025, which before this showcase, I was like, oh yeah, that 2025 would make sense. By minute 8, I was like, oh, this game's coming out soon because it's so much. And they even, like, there's a bunch of gameplay. They even show Sam walking, which I'm going to be honest, I'm glad they did not change the genre in response to the critiques because I want this game to be stupid and weird. And as somebody who just talked about how Kojima gets too much credit, this trailer slapped.
It was quite good.
It was very silly, and I'm happy Kojima trailers are back.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How have you not talked about the little puppet?
Oh, because I am a sucker for things in video games whose frame rates are incorrect. He has a little puppet that he holds around his waist, and the puppet is slow frame rate, low frame rate.
And he's so cute. He's just a little guy.
And he gets mad at Troy Baker, and he turns into angry. He goes, and he gets scary looking.
And he's just a little guy.
Yeah, and then the baby in the is also in the baby. Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning's in it. Elle Fanning's here. I think I covered it all,
And the guy
right?
that directed
The Night of the Living Dead or something? No, that's John Romero. John Romero made Doom. Wait, who
Isn't
made
it George Miller?
George Miller?
George Miller, who directed Mad Max.
Mad Max. And then John Romero made Doom. And then who made Night of the Living Dead?
George Romero.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Wait.
I'm confused. Let's run that back.
Okay. All right. So George A. Romero made Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then George Romero made Doom? No, John Romero made Doom.
So you were right the second time.
I have no idea.
I don't know if I was right.
John Romero made Doom. George Romero made The Night of the Living Dead. And neither of them are in this game.
You know what? I'm at the part in the trailer. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Who did you say was in it? What's his name?
George Miller, who made Mad Max. And Babe, Pig in the City. And Happy Feet.
Okay, so I'm not that crazy for my thoughts.
I'm at the part in the trailer where Troy Baker's character is bothering the little puppet man, and it made me really mad. That made me really upset.
Yeah, I referenced that part because he goes like, and he's scary.
He needs to leave him alone.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Unhand that little man right now.
He's a little guy.
I'm so mad. I'm fuming. Andrew?
Yeah.
What did you play this week?
I played a couple games. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh.
Can
you tell me about the games that you played?
1 full second behind me. Yeah, so I played Pizza Tower like I promised on PC.
Yippee! Okay. Sorry.
On my new PC. First game I played was Pizza Tower. Very demanding game. It's like a Wario Land inspired game. It's a side scroller. You run around. It's hideous on purpose.
Oh.
Everything's drawn in Microsoft Paint, so it's disgusting to look at.
Oh.
I had quite a bit of fun. I don't think I had as much fun as most people because this game has incredibly rave reviews, and I was just like, it was kind of fun. But I had a good time. I got it for a few bucks on sale, so it's worth putting on your wish list.
Would you rather eat a pizza or play this game?
I'd eat a pizza.
Oh.
I really like pizza, though.
Me too.
Well, you also didn't say where it was from, so I just assumed it was my favorite pizza.
What's your favorite pizza?
Altieri's in Stowe.
Oh.
Support local business.
Oh.
But if it was a chain, I'd probably do Marco's.
More like Stowe. Oh. Marco's?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
my favorite chain,
serious?
probably.
What the? All right.
I look
Did you play
forward to
anything
editing.
else?
Oh, well, we're back. I look forward to editing that, and we're just both talking actively over each other because I'm not cutting that out. We lost the internet. I don't think that's ever happened.
I didn't lose internet.
Oh, I lost you.
You need to call Spectrum.
Okay. Anyway,
Do you
Marcos.
have Spectrum?
Yeah, Marcos.
Or Cox? I have Cox home internet.
Kelly, what's your favorite pizza chain?
You guys, I can't say.
What?
I can't say. I'll get in trouble. I'll get canceled on Twitter.
Is it like Papa John's? It's Papa John's, everybody. Kelly's favorite chain is Papa John's. Cancel Kelly. Hashtag Kelly is canceled for liking Papa John's. Hashtag idiot. Hashtag stupid. Hashtag Papa. Yeah, just Papa. Hashtag Papa.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I think Papa John's is pretty okay.
I love their stuffed crust.
I loved Papa John's when we went to Kent, because you could use Flash Cash on it.
That's true.
So I'd walk down to Papa John's.
And it was right there. Yeah.
Pick up my Papa John's and bring it back to the dorm.
Got my papa to get me some
Papa John's.
pizza.
Anyway, no, Marco's is probably my favorite chain, but I'm also like, the only ones I don't like. Pizza Hut is like a really fun, rare
I like
occasion,
Pizza Hut.
but it's also like so disgusting when you think
I
about
disagree. I think Pizza Hut's quite good.
I think it's quite
it's
good, but like rare occasions. It's
Okay.
too buttery.
I hate Domino's.
Yes.
I don't like Marco's. Marco's always makes me sick.
Really? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I
Do you
don't
hate
like Hungry
the flavor
Howie's.
or just the sickness?
Just the sickness.
Okay.
I don't like Hungry Howie's, but I think that's more just because it's all we ever ate at JMC events.
Yeah, it tasted Hungry Howie's, which I haven't had in years, but Hungry Howie's tastes like nostalgia to me. It's so salty, right?
It's very salty.
I don't know why it's so salty. Why are we reviewing pizza and not video games?
Yeah.
I also played a lot of Like a Dragon. Well, not actually a lot, just a lot when I'm currently busy with my job. I'm almost done with it. At time of recording, I am on chapter 14 of 14. The last chapter promises to be very long, so it'll probably still take me a while. But I will say, because I talked about it a ton last episode, there is a major plot point, which I will not spoil, so don't worry. But there's a major plot point that occurs in this game. And I want to talk to you about this off air, because I'll spoil you because I don't care. But this plot point alters the party in a substantial way. It is not a death, so don't worry about that spoiler. It's just
It's a baby.
Yeah. Mingus becomes
It's
the main
Mingus.
character. No, but it's essentially introduces like a new I don't want to go into the details, but it introduces some crazy interesting mechanics to flesh out a plot beat, which is something I feel like a lot of JRPGs don't really do. They don't use their mechanics to enhance their story. It's almost like two separate things usually. Even like the best JRPGs, like I think about like Persona. Like I love the mechanics and I think the gameplay's perfect, but rarely do I look at the mechanics and think, oh, they're like deeply connecting what's happening in the story and what's happening mechanically. Even if it's a tiny bit contrived, it's still very interesting because it's executed with so much flourish and care. And also the story in this game is getting very intense. And I am very invested, and I am imagining the ending is going to hit me hard. So I'll know within the week, probably. And then I played a game called Persona 3 Reload. You know, one of Kelly's most anticipated game of the year, one of my most anticipated games of the year. And I played 40 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all.
So you finished the game, right?
Yeah. Yep, I did.
Wow.
No, the job has been, I'm happy. Don't worry about me, but I am not unemployed, which means I have less free time to work or game, I mean. And also I've been really wanting to finish Like a Dragon before Final Fantasy. So I decided to leave this to Kelly. Kelly, what'd you play this week?
Well, you guys, I've been playing Persona 3 Reload. Yeah. Yeah. I'm about 23 hours in. I'm in June. The end of June. Which, for those who don't know, Persona 3 takes place over the course of a year, starting in April.
Is it April to April?
April to... Well, kind of. Do you want me to tell you?
No.
Okay.
You really lost your train of thought. You're in June.
Yes, I'm in June. I did play the original Persona 3. I played Persona 3 Portable and Persona 3.
You didn't play FES?
No, I watched all of The Answer.
Why are you saluting?
To me not playing FES.
Oh, the audience cannot see you salute.
Sorry, audience. I was saluting. So I do have that frame of reference going into this remake, and it is a full ground-up remake.
It is.
I will start off with, I'm just going to talk about the combat a little bit, because I think that's easy and relatively spoiler-free. I will say combat-wise, this game is, if you're looking for a challenge, I would maybe play like Persona 4 or Persona 3 FES or Persona 3 Portable. This is the easiest Persona game I think I've ever played, combat-wise. It has a lot of the same mechanics as Royal, which Royal was fairly easy.
Yeah.
It has a lot of the same mechanics as Royal, including like the baton pass. It's different in Reload. It's sort of referred in a different way, but it's done in such a way that it's like, what are we doing? This is crazy. Like, fights are very, very fast paced, way more so than they were in Royal. I feel like I'm like, boom, 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 fight done, boom. It makes grinding, which is sort of the gameplay loop of Persona 3, is you go in Tartarus and you grind and you grind and you grind. It makes it a lot more bearable. I think the level design in Tartarus is a lot better, which is not really saying that much because it was really bad in the original.
It's not hallways anymore.
It's such a slog, but I think the redesign of Tartarus, it looks really good. It feels good. The music, the combat music is really good. It is hard. It's a little bit difficult for me to get over the little differences I hear from the original. But what I do like is that the combat music is dynamic in terms of like encounters. So I'm not always hearing the same song.
So like what they did in Persona 5 Royal?
Yes. So like if you get the advantage, you get a different song. If you don't get the advantage, you get the regular song.
Okay, so it's the exact same as Persona 3 or Persona 5 Royal then?
Yes.
That's good to know because I feel like I appreciate the music remakes, and from what I've heard so far, I do like the new ones a lot. But that battle theme specifically is so ingrained that the vocal changes are just too much for me personally. So
yes,
I think that'll be nice.
The Advantage battle music is really, really good. Mm-hmm. I think the new music that they've introduced is amazing. There's a song that plays at night. It's called Color Your Night, I think. It's so good. In my opinion, it's like the best Persona song ever.
Wow.
It's so good. It's so good. Andrew, it's so good. And it's enjoyable to listen to, and you hear it a lot because you're out at night a lot because you're a miscreant. Just kidding. So that's sort of like the combat angle. Obviously I'm not super far into the game, but I have not encountered a challenge yet. Not any of the bosses, not any of the tower bosses. No challenge whatsoever.
Just for coverage, I'm assuming you're on normal.
I'm playing on normal. I might switch it to hard because I feel like I'm just... But I also enjoy the fast-pacedness of the game, so it kind of depends. I'm kind of two minds. I almost want to maintain the normal just for this playthrough, and then the next one, maybe I'll go for hard. There's also Merciless mode, which is similar to Royal. What else? I don't want to talk about the combat too much because I feel like... I've covered that pretty much, and it's fairly straightforward for a Persona game.
And we talked so much about Persona 5 Royal, and it's ultimately the same.
You target the weakness, you get the all-out attack, you win the fight, whatever. There are little changes. Shuffle time used to actually shuffle the cards, and you would have to pick. It doesn't do that anymore. You just pick the card that you want, which is kind of lame. But it's like that in Persona 4 Golden as well, and Royal. The social links, it's a bit different for me. So most recently, I've played Portable. And in my opinion, the social links in Portable are really, really good as the female main character. You get all of the male members on your team, all of the female members on your team, and all the supplementary social links, like your classmates and stuff, are very, very good. There's one specifically, the Moon social link, that is so radically different between the female main character and the male main character that it makes me not want to do it as the male main character because it's that much of a flop in comparison to the female one. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But I am getting used to the male social links. I did play the male version way back when. A lot of things are a little bit different, like maybe you have to answer a little bit differently, or maybe like they say something that they didn't say in the original, so you're kind of like, oh, wasn't expecting that. All the classroom answers, well, I don't know if all the classroom answers are different. Most of them are, so you can't rely on old guides. You have to, there is still a network feature, so you can still see what, you can still cheat.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I do that. But I will say something that they included, which I really enjoy, is the Hangouts. So that's like in Persona 3, none of your male teammates get a social link. Not Junpei, not Akihiko, not Shinjiro, not Ryo. Well, that's not true. But not those three, which sucks because as someone who's been playing the female version of the game, you get social links with those guys, and they're really, really good. The Junpei one is great compared to the Magician one for the male character, who is not so great, in my opinion. No social link with Akihiko really sucks because I love Akihiko. He's like the best. He's one of my favorite characters. But you do get to do these little hangouts, which is really nice, where you can like cook with them, or you can like watch a movie with them, or you can plant in the garden with them. It's very homoerotic. Just kidding. I mean, it is. I'm joking. I'm not joking. So the social links are all fully voiced, which is really nice.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Yep. And the hangouts are fully voiced. I mean, so far. I've done like 3, and they've all been voiced.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of voice work in this game, which kind of brings me to my next point, which is the brand new cast. I know some people are super critical. These characters have been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. Persona 3 came out in like 2006, 2007.
Oh my God.
So the people who made those games, their voices are so recognizable at this point. I'm talking about like Yuri Lowenthal was the main character. Liam O'Brien was Akihiko, like people who you know. So their voices are super, super memorable and super recognizable, and their performances are really good. So it's hard to go to a brand new cast and ask them to do the same things, to evoke the same performances. Evoke. There's a little pun there for you, because you're evoking in the game. You're using your evoker to summon your persona. Anyway, but I felt that the new cast actually did a really great job. There's some characters that I'm like, I'm not quite sure I'm there yet. But some standouts for me, I think Junpei's voice actors did a really, really good job. It's really, really nice because Junpei's old voice actor is not a good person. So him having a new voice actor really brings new life to the character, which is really the case for all of the characters. There's new perspectives, new readings. I'll say I really, really like Akihiko's new voice actor. I know some people were a little bit less into that because Liam O'Brien is so recognizable. But I thought his new voice actor did a really good job. I love Mitsuru's voice actress, Allegra Clark. She's really good. She sounds very similar to Tara Platt. So some of the performances are very similar, some are very different. But I'm really enjoying it because it does make things fresh. I really, really like Fuka's new voice actress. I feel like she has sort of built a new personality for the character, even though the writing's the same pretty much. It really makes her feel a little bit more youthful. Mm-hmm. Like she sounds more like a high school student rather than the old Fuka who sounded like a grown woman. No offense to her original voice actress, but that's just my opinion. So that's been really pleasant. And I think, I don't know if this is spoilery. Some voice actors from the original game are in this game in a different form.
Interesting.
So they'll make like little cameo appearances. I'll just give one small example. And I hope I'm not ruining this for anybody. But Liam O'Brien does voice a character. He voices the police officer who you buy your weapons and stuff from.
Okay, that's not a spoiler. It's just a nod then.
Right. And
proves that it wasn't done in bad blood.
Yeah. And what I like about that is that his character does have a lot of interactions with Akihiko. So it very much feels like sort of passing of the torch, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to continue playing this game. Does that sentence
Don't worry about that.
sense?
That's the tense was
to
terrible.
Continuing. I'm looking forward to
you
keep
should
playing
burn that sentence. Just throw it away.
I'm excited to keep playing this game.
There you go.
I'm excited for any potential additions to the story.
Do you think
maybe
they'll
the
add?
answer?
I was gonna say I feel like the answer DLC.
I think the answer is a shoo-in. The game has sold very, very well. I think the answer is a shoo-in. Other DLC, I'm not really sure. In my hardest of hearts, in the deep pit that is my blackened, shriveled heart, I would absolutely love if Atlas would just do it. If they would just say, you know what, we have a lot of players who really enjoy playing as the female main character. Let's just add on.
I thought you were gonna say that you really wanted Papa John in the game.
I do want Papa John in the game, so I can kill him. Just kidding.
I want pizza now.
Me too. I don't think I'm leaning more towards that they won't, because it's a lot of work. There would need to be a lot of re-recording. There would be they would need to redo the anime cutscenes.
Especially hearing how much voice there is in this game.
Yeah. But I would implore anybody who really enjoys this version of Persona, I would implore you to play Portable, which you can now play on Switch and Xbox and
PC and PlayStation. And PC.
And PC.
Everything is what you could say.
I could say that, but I wanted to say it in a way that was more difficult to say.
And made you have to stop.
Yes. I would implore you to play that version too, because it's a new perspective on the game. The female main character is not just a girl version of the male main character. She does have different responses and different character beats. She is a lot more upbeat than he is. They're two individual characters. So I think that it's worth playing as her, because you also get social links with Junpei and Akihiko and Shinji and Koromaru. You don't get a social link with Koromaru as the male, which is crazy because he's like so cute. And it's like, this is my dog, literally. And I can't hang out with him other than going on walks. I can't strengthen our bond.
Are there social links with the dudes in Reload?
No, just hangouts.
That's crazy.
There is one male character. Well, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't realize that. It's just so ingrained in the Persona 5 structure that I can't imagine it without, and Persona 4 for that matter.
I know. And it's very weird when you think about characters like Junpei, who is like, you get him from the jump. He has a whole arc with the main character. No social link. And there's so much context behind him and his story and who he is and his home life that you just don't get because you don't have a social link with him. Same with Akihiko. There's so much that you just don't get because you don't have a social link with them.
I almost respect that though, because Persona 3 is a different game than 4 and 5 because they kind of it was a different game. They were figuring things out. They didn't know exactly where they were going to go in the future, and they were doing something, even if that seems a little odd right now, it's it was deliberate. And so the fact that they're remaking Reload, or they're remaking the game into Reload, and they're staying committed to the vision that they did have, even if it doesn't match with what 4 and 5 would end up doing, I have some respect for that.
Yeah.
Although I do think some female main character DLC or re-release or whatever in the future is a good thing.
I agree. I think that it would be a good idea just so everyone could have one definitive version of Persona 3 that they could play instead of having to do like 3 different games to get the full experience.
Yeah, I'd prefer DLC.
And I know there's whispers and mumblings and rumblings of a Persona 4 remake now.
I wouldn't put money on that happening anytime soon, though.
I think that's definitely a possibility now with how well this game is doing. Do I think that it needs it? No. Do I think that, and I'm sure people felt this way about Persona 3, but it's like, do I think that I need Adachi needs a new voice actor? No. No one can do that performance like Johnny Young Bosch did. Okay?
I think the thing is that Persona 4 holds up and Persona 3 it kind of didn't.
Persona 3 holds up more in the content of its story and the characters. I would say Persona 4 actually, some of it is very, very dated.
Oh, yeah.
And they could, if they were to remake it, they would have the opportunity to do something new and different, which they probably wouldn't.
I was going to say, I don't want them to because they wouldn't. Like, those,
that's
like, you know, the problematic stuff like the homophobia and, like, misunderstanding of queerness is, like, I don't think they would fix it. Even though Atlas is, like, growing and learning slowly, I don't think that they would do... I don't think Persona 4 remake would be the platform for it, you know? But who do I know? I mean, Catherine kind of... its remake, re-release thing touched on some new stuff.
Yeah.
Poorly,
it was better than
the
original Catherine.
Yeah. It had its own problems, but at least it... I almost... Okay, this is off...
An attempt was made.
And even though the terminology, like the words being used were wrong regularly. Okay, I'll be very quick about this. There's a trans character in...
Full body?
Catherine. I couldn't remember the name of what we were just talking about. I was trying to say Persona, and I'm like, that's not right. In Catherine Full Body, which is the re-release of Catherine, they added a third Catherine who is non-gender conforming person. And they are very bad with words when that is revealed. Instead of just being like, oh, you're a woman who is trans or something to that effect, it's more like, what are you? And it's like, oh, yikes. But it boils down to the characters being like, oh, this doesn't change anything. Love is love. And it's like, okay, you did something.
I think in some regards, it's like the characters in Catherine aren't really super sympathetic. Most of them aren't good people. Vincent's not really a good person.
Yeah, that would be his reaction, yeah.
So it's like, you as the viewer, it's kind of not the same, obviously, but it's like when you watch Always Sunny. Have you ever watched that show?
Yeah.
It's like these people are obviously not good people, and they're ignorant, and they're stupid, and we're making fun of them. And obviously it's not to that extent because you are supposed to sympathize to some extent to Vincent because you're playing as him and you're making decisions as him. But I don't think the game was ever like, yeah, Vincent's a good guy.
No.
It's like, oh, he's kind of a bad guy.
No decisions are good guy decisions.
He's kind of not a good guy.
You cheat.
But I will say, I think Persona 4 also kind of taps into this. It's like some of the characters at their most homophobic are actually just insecure teenagers, which makes sense. But it's like,
except when Yosuke is straight up homophobic.
Right. And it's like, maybe you're reading, maybe you, the viewer, the player, are reading too much into it. And maybe the game was just being a little bit homophobic. Maybe it's not some deeper message about how Yosuke's got some internalized homophobia because he's gay. I'm just kidding. I'm not. But the point is that some of the elements of the game are a little bit uncomfortable maybe, and it's just a discourse machine, and I just don't think that they could make Persona 4 remake successfully at this point. I would love to see Persona 6 first.
I was going to say, I think they could, but I don't want them to.
Persona 4 remake. But we'll see. We'll see. What I would really like, and here's my roadmap for you, Atlas. Feel free to take notes. Answer DLC after Re Fantasio comes out. You give us the answer. And then in a couple months after that, you give us the FemC re-release of the game.
You said a couple months?
Or just the FemC DLC. Yeah, after the
I'd
answer.
give it a couple of years based on their just
maybe
how...
a year. But by that
Persona
point, it will have
5
been a year.
Royal took 3 years.
Okay. Well, they also were dicking around a lot. Sorry.
They like to dick around. That's what they do.
I'm just saying they were like, maybe we'll have a female protagonist in Persona 5. And they were like, Oh, wait, we don't want to do that. They wasted all this time. Anyway, here's my roadmap. I'm still on it. Okay.
Get on the map.
Persona 3, reload, load. Nope. Female reload. Girl load. Nope. Cut that.
Nope.
Persona 6. Boom. Persona 4. Golden shower. Boom.
Oh, Kelly.
Sorry.
Why would you say that?
Sorry. Right at the end too. Hit me with the E. My nose piercing keeps coming out.
I don't think I'm gonna hit you with the E. I don't think it's E. I think it's just
Persona 7. Boom.
Okay. By that, Persona 7 is not coming out till 2042. So let's slow the frick down, okay?
Well, I'll be fighting in the Water Wars.
Well, I'm gonna fight you with my real fists after you talked about Persona 4 Golden Shower. So
anyway,
I think we should wrap.
So those are my thoughts on Persona 3 Reload. I look forward to playing more.
I feel like this might be this is one of our longest episodes ever. Oops.
Well, we had a lot of news, and I had a lot to say about Persona 3, and we also talked about pizza. So.
Oh yeah, so just to bring it back, support your local. Do you have a local pizza shop, Kelly?
Yeah, it's called Angelo's.
Does it slap?
It's really good.
Well,
it's better than Papa John's.
Yeah, support local pizza. It's more expensive, but it worth it.
Sorry.
Can you hear that, Kelly? Can you hear me smashing on my chair?
I'm still a little bit feeling a little bit of regret
about
for some of the words that I said in the past minute.
That's tragic because I don't know if you know this. It's impossible for me to edit things out of this podcast.
Well, thanks you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. We appreciate you sticking around for this extra long
Can you stop with the terms?
Episode? It wasn't even supposed to be like that.
Okay, you didn't have to stop talking after
I know,
you said
but it's like I realized what I said and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an awesome week. We'll see you soon, and we're going to talk about other video game stuff and other video game news. And thank you for enduring the many ups and downs, the tragic highs and lows of high school football.
What?
Thank you. Bye.